Howdy everybody, happy Hanukkah, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and most importantly, happy Festivus. That's right, I am recording this on Festivus, and well, at the end of the year we thought maybe doing kind of like an airing of grievances thing with the racing industry, things along that nature, but you know, let's try not to go down that road. We do that all the time. Fans are kind of known for it a lot of times, especially handicappers, and of course everybody has their own ideas on things, but figured we'd take a little bit of a different spin on it at the end of this year here at ThoroFan. And you know, if I had the chance really to sit on Santa's lap and kind of give some wishes for what we would want as fans and handicappers going into the new year with racing, we came up with a couple of things. So let's go ahead and take a look at what my Christmas wish list would be for fans and handicappers everywhere in the racing world. Alright, so let's say we're sitting on Santa's lap and he asked us what do we want for Christmas as the fans and the handicappers in this industry, and so let's talk about a couple of things that I personally would think that most fans and handicappers would want to see Santa grant us for Christmas and going forward in this wonderful sport and industry that is racing. I will say this. One thing I'm not going to be talking about is HISA, because so much is up in the air with HISA right now that if I even started talking to Santa about HISA, I'd probably get this response.
Ho, ho, ho.
So, to avoid a nice little boot in the face, I will totally refrain from talking about anything with HISA until we get a little bit more of a concrete answer on something, whether this goes to the Supreme Court, whether something else happens, there's more legislative fixes, who knows. But we're just going to have to wait on all of that stuff. I think I speak for everybody, fans and handicappers alike, when we say we want uniformity in racing. It's just something that has to happen, and it has to happen a lot quicker than everybody is trying to make it happen right now, and HISA certainly is a very big step in that direction, and hopefully there will be something that is done to fix. Who knows? But Santa, I promise no more talking about HISA. So the first thing I would ask Santa for is for have him have maybe a little meeting with a whole bunch of the track executives and things like that, and kind of impart on them the importance of takeout and breakage. And of course, all tracks know about this. All tracks, when you look at all of them together, again, the blended takeout rate is around 20%, depending on which bet you're talking about. And so that's 20 cents of every dollar we bet that goes directly to these tracks and to purses. And I'm not saying that there shouldn't be takeout. I mean, obviously that has to happen. But what I am asking is that maybe we consider trying in a bigger jurisdiction, dropping those takeout rates to a more manageable level for the handicapper, and let it go for a year or two at that rate. See what happens, because if you just drop it for one racing season, the bigger gamblers that maybe never bet your product are not going to just jump all in because they see a lower takeout. They're going to study the product a little bit. They're going to want to know what's going on, and then they're going to hopefully go in and bet a lot more. But you got to give it time to work. So Santa, if you can impart some wisdom on that and getting them to lower takeout, or at least really implore these racing commissions that obviously approve the takeout rates. The rates have to be approved by the state racing commissions. Have the racing commissions, at a public meeting, or at least in some way when they look at these things to approve these takeout rates, have these tracks justify their takeout rate numbers. Just don't blindly okay it. Just, have them come up in a meeting and say, this is why, based on our budget, we need our takeout rates at this level. Put them on the hot seat, so to speak, and make them justify these takeout rates, because it's killing us. And it's killing gamblers, and we've been saying it for years, and nobody seems to listen. So, Santa, maybe you can help a little bit with that. On the breakage side, obviously, that is money, breakage, that is owed us, the gamblers, and the fans. It's our money, basically, that we really should be getting back to hopefully bet back into the pools. And we saw in Kentucky how many hundreds of thousands of dollars was returned to gamblers because they changed the law to make it penny breakage. So hopefully Santa can talk to all of the states out there and work with their legislators to get the laws just amended quickly. I'm trying to do this in PA right now with a couple of state legislators, trying to show them the information that's out there and just asking them to make a slight alteration to the racing law that brings it to penny breakage. This is money that is owed us, the gamblers, and the fans. So let's do everything we can to get that money back to us. So that would be the first thing I would certainly ask Santa for. Second would be, as more fans become aware of this, and of course the public becomes aware of this, Santa, please try to figure out a way to impart the importance of getting this industry to properly pay for aftercare for all of the horses in the industry. Find a way to help make sure that when horses leave tracks, we know where they're going, that they can be properly traced. The industry has the money, it has the knowledge, it has the technology, all of it exists to be able to do this very, very easily. All it takes is a little bit of ganas, as they say. Just desire. You just have to want to do it. So let's make it happen. Santa, impart, the spirit of Christmas on everybody, and maybe hopefully, we will be able to find a way to make sure that all of these programs are properly funded by people in the industry, as well as through donations and nonprofit. And if you remember, when a lot of racing commissions or industry folk go before the state legislators and their governments and say, racing brings this much economic impact to the state. They usually show that cute little diagram where they have a horse and then they have all these spikes coming off saying all these different industries and people benefit from the fact that we have horse racing and from the horse. Without the horse, you don't have an industry. And so really what has to happen is everybody has to realize that diagram should really be turned on itself, and every single person that benefits from the horse and everything that horse racing brings should be giving some money back to make sure that horse is cared for the rest of its life. Again, not hard, just takes a little.
Goodness, that's all we need is goodness.
That's all it is. All right. Number 3, this is the third thing that I would kind of wish for, and that is come up with an answer on Lasix. Just make a decision already. The science is out there, folks. You don't need more studies on this. If you want to study something that maybe will work as well as Lasix and do things, okay, go ahead, go off, do your studies, whatever. But as far as just make a decision. You can't we're hemming and hawing here, and it's just annoying everybody on all ends of the spectrum. Here's the crux of it. The crux of it is this. The science has shown 2 very definitive things that are basically irrefutable at this point. Lasix does help mitigate exercise-induced pulmonary hemorrhage. It's proven, okay? It helps bleeders. Lasix has been shown to be performance enhancing. That's been scientifically proven too. And not just to the point of the argument that's made, well, it just allows a horse to perform up to its maximum performance. No, that's not what the science shows. Science shows that horses on Lasix, when they're not bleeders, will run better, quicker, and farther than horses that are not. That's just been shown in the science as well. So you've got, 2 things here you've got to try to reconcile, which I don't think you ever will scientifically. So just make a decision. Make a decision one way or the other and stick with it and just deal with the fallout as you may. I've said before, my personal opinion, 5-year phase-out plan with Lasix. It allows trainers and horsemen to adjust their training protocols if need be. For dealing with that. It also allows horses that maybe do need the drug for racing and bleeding and things like that to at least finish out their careers, so you don't have this cold turkey approach of tons and tons of horses that all of a sudden have nowhere to go because they can't be raced and the aftercare programs are full, and so now you've got this problem too. So Santa, maybe 5-year phase-out program? Maybe you can impart that, give that as a little Christmas gift, maybe, please. Number 4, this is what I would ask of all the racing jurisdictions out there, and I would ask Santa to please, and again, impart the wisdom to have this done. And that is, do what NYRA did. And for all of these computer-assisted wagering programs and accounts and things like that, that pump all of this money into the pools at the last second, cut them off from the win pool 3 minutes to post. Do what NYRA did. So this way we have some faith in the odds that are out there. Really, there's almost no point in putting odds up anymore, as many people have pointed out, because if they're going to change from that last second dump of money from a computer assisted wagering product, why show the odds? It's basically pointless. So please, Santa, please try to, make it happen where we can cut off these win pools only. Just start with the win pools from the computer-assisted wagering programs. It's not really going to affect things that much. They're still going to focus on other pools, but it's really going to help, especially the newer fans that we're trying to bring to the sport, the newer gamblers we're trying to bring to the sport. It's going to help them a lot, have at least faith in the odds when they make a win bet. And so when they think they're all of a sudden, hey, my horse is 5-1, which means I might come away, depending on how much I bet, with $50. And then by the time they cross the wire first, they're down to 2-1, which means they're going to only get $20 or something. That's just, to them, that's not fair, and they perceive that something nefarious is going on. So let's make that happen, Santa. Fifth thing I would ask Santa for, just have a little bit of a better on-track experience for the fan. We see things like the NYRA shows that's put on, America's Day at the Races, all of that. That's great, and actually it really does make people potentially want to come to the track, but when you get there, you don't have all of that stuff going on. And I'm not saying you have to have everything going on in between every race and just totally overwhelm somebody with a sensory experience or just the experience of being at the track, but you've got to bring some of what you see on TV to the track. And because you want to get them there, and I think the industry is doing a pretty good job of advertising in a way that makes people want to come to the track. But then once you get there, there's really nothing. We've got to provide a little bit of interesting entertainment between races. We've got to provide a better education experience for what's going on between races, explaining things a little bit better, just making it a little bit more fun and interactive for the fans that are out there, and especially the new fans that we are trying to bring into the sport. So Santa, if you can figure out a way to maybe make the on-track experience a little bit more fun and engaging for fans, new and old alike, that would be great. So, please consider that. Hey, Santa, you want to call me up? I've got some ideas. We could talk about all that, maybe over some milk and cookies, stuff like that. Be happy to help you out in that area. The last and final thing that I would ask Santa for the industry for this Christmas is very, very simple yet very powerful request. And that is for us, the fans and the handicappers, to be heard. You hear a lot, and again, I said I wasn't going to talk about HISA, but I'll bring it up real quick, where, all of these other groups are saying, we didn't have a seat at the table, we weren't allowed to really give our input on things. Well, you know who else wasn't really allowed to, and has really never been allowed to really give their input on certain things? The fan, the handicapper. Again, how many millions of dollars through the blended takeout do we provide this industry? Through betting and gambling and other things, and we can't have a seat at the table to at least give some ideas and to hopefully be heard on some of this stuff, to make everybody understand how we're perceiving things. It's just inexcusable. And so Santa, I want to be heard. We all want to be heard. That, I think, should have been number one. Instead of number 6 on things that I would ask Santa for this Christmas for the industry. Please, just, everybody that's out there, form maybe a fan advisory council. Racing states, racing jurisdictions, you really should have it that a fan or a handicapper is a mandated appointed position to every racing commission. Okay, one of those seats should not just be quote-unquote member of the public. It should be somebody who has knowledge in racing, knowledge in being a fan, knowledge in being a handicapper. Because as it's been shown multiple times, and even with the FBI indictments that came down, handicappers and really astute fans, they were picking up on these patterns with some of these trainers that were doping horses long before anybody really started investigating it. They were the ones picking up on the patterns and the win percentages and all that. So we have a lot of good information. We want to be heard. We also want to hear why certain things can't be done. Again, don't treat the public, don't treat the fans and handicappers like we're idiots and that we don't know. It's probably one of the most infuriating things sometimes as a fan that's really followed this sport to hear time and time again. You hear somebody inside the industry when the problem's brought up, well, they just don't understand. You just don't understand how it works on the inside. Well, okay, explain it. We're all ears. We want to hear what is going on. So please, 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 Santa, let us be heard in these upcoming years in racing and let us have a really good seat at the table so that we can provide our input as to how things probably should be done and also how things may be perceived when they are done. And let us be able to understand why certain things might be needed as well that can't be done. So, Santa, please help us. We really need help. Help us, Santa. Please, Santa. So that is my little wish list for Santa that I would ask him for this holiday season. I hope everybody does have a wonderful holiday. ThoroFan is going to be coming out with a bunch of new stuff come the new year. We're really revamping things. We're excited about it. So stay tuned for that. We realize that we haven't really been the organization we need to be just yet, and so we're going to look to really kind of revamp things a little bit to provide much more content for you, the fan, made by us, the racing fans. Hope everybody stays safe as well. I know we are going through a major Arctic type cold snap. Make sure your horses are safe, make sure your pets are safe. We want everybody to come through safe and happy this holiday season. So this will probably be my final video for the year here at ThoroFan as we work to build up some new content for the new year. So again, thank you everybody for following along at ThoroFan. Thank you for following the video segments that I've done. And if you have any comments, ideas, suggestions, things like that that you may want to see in the new year, of course, drop them in the comments. Give us a shout out here at ThoroFan. We will try to get everything we can on for you. And I am Doc for ThoroFan, and as I've said from the beginning, and I will say till the end, if you are looking for the most accurate, up-to-date, and truthful information about this great sport of thoroughbred racing, there's only one place you need to turn, and that is right here at ThoroFan.